And ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Johnny of Jug, and we are live in Springfield, Illinois. We're going to be talking to you guys about this really awesome band from Champaign, and awesome, I mean, by every mean. These guys kick butt live, they kick butt in their recording. They've got a demo currently. It is the demo 2022. It is awesome and super, just, it's a good time. So, Johnny, introduce yourself, sir.
Yo, thank you for having me. I'm Johnny. I do vocals in Jug. I also play drums in a band called Power of Dust.
Fuck
Yeah,
yes. So we're talking about Jug today, and I really have a lot of curiosities about this band because when I first saw you guys, I was just blown away, man. And then we ended up having you guys on our festival, and my
yeah.
God, it was by far one of my favorite performances of the entire day. It was so
Oh,
just
thank you.
energetic, aggressive, in your face. I mean, I will never forget. I had
Oh,
quite a
wow.
few folks pull me aside and they were like, "What a way to open your festival." And I mean, granted, we had the local, one of the local bands that pulled up and they had opened, but this was, literally one of the, from what I had planned, so to speak. Because they weren't
Right.
necessarily planned. That was kind of like a last minute put together, and then we were like, oh well, shit, we
Sure.
have another opener. Okay. And then I saw Jug, and I was just absolutely just taken aback by just the power, man. So I do
Thank
want
you,
to
man.
get a
Thank you.
little bit into who's not here today. Tell me about those
Sure.
guys.
Yeah, so Dominic is our bass player, Eric is our drummer, and Alan is our guitar player. Yeah, as everybody knows, trying to be in a band when you're a grown adult is hard to manage everybody's schedule. So
Hmm.
they let me do all the yapping tonight.
Hell yeah. So we definitely appreciate that from them. We can't wait to have them on in the future.
Oh
It's
yeah.
surely going to be a hell of a time. And so one of the first topics we're going to be tackling today, guys, is just going to be what is JUG? What does JUG stand for?
It's kind really it's I'm making a bigger deal out of it than there is. It doesn't really stand for anything, but I did get kind of inspired for the name because I'm from Louisville, Kentucky originally, and a lot of my friends went to a certain Catholic high school down there that will remain nameless. I didn't go there, but a lot of my friends went there. And
Okay.
apparently, if they would get in trouble, they would get you'd get a jug if you got in trouble. And I was like, oh, that's
What?
weird, like a jug of whatever.
Like a gallon?
And yeah, that's what I thought, jug of milk, whatever. And they're like, no, like I got 2 jugs today, or Coach so and so gave me 3 jugs. And I was like, that's crazy, you guys. I just get detention, whatever. Not that I got detention that much. I was a good kid,
Don't
but
tell me these kids were
so I,
getting beaten.
no,
Oh
nothing
my
like that.
God.
But they I essentially this is years later. Actually, when we were kind of just starting the band, we didn't have a name yet, and I was visiting some friends at home, and they were reminiscing on high school days. And one of them said, like, you remember getting jugs in high school? And they said, I can't remember specifically which it is. Either it standed for judgment under God or justice under God, Jug. And I was
Wow.
like, oh, that would be cool to name a band that. And then I just like
What?
added that to my notes, my band name notes list. And just like, next practice, I was like, okay,
Oh
these are like
my
the 10 I came
God.
up with. And they were like, oh, that one's kind of cool.
Dude,
But
that's awesome.
apparently, yeah, what the punishment is apparently is they had to like stand and stare at a brick wall for like an
Yeah.
hour or something. So that was their punishment.
Yeah, I've heard of
Whatever.
things similar. Catholic schools are very, very wild, and not in the
Yeah,
good
wild
sense by any
times.
means, guys. It is really not good stuff. Can't put it any other way. I mean, I could be more acute about it, but I'm gonna offend a lot of folks, and I gotta be very careful with that.
Hey,
Um,
it's a.
so the idea, so justice under God or judgment under God, which one was it that you guys
Something
ended
like
up going
that.
with?
To be honest, we decided like, oh, it'll just kind of be like a funny thing to say that we did. It doesn't really stand for anything, or just kind of be a bit more tongue in cheek with it, and just be like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. It could stand for something. It could, I don't know.
Man, that's
whatever you want in your heart is what it is
that's a
to us.
very, very interesting concept. Just the whole justice under God, or even, the judgment under God aspect of it. That's just thinking about it does not sound like something I want to be a part of. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Um,
it was just like, and even my bandmates were like, "Oh, are people going to think we're like a Christian band?" I was like, "I
no,
don't think we're going to have to worry about that too much, y'all."
yeah. Yeah, that's definitely there's very few bands that ever get actually confused as it.
Yeah,
Um and like you have like The Devil Wears Prada. That's probably one of the most prominent ones I can think of. Folks thought they
right,
were Christian for the longest times. And
right.
it's just like being around them, you very quickly realize you're like, no, no. Like I've been around those Christian bands. Like we're gonna have one of
Oh,
them
right.
on later on this
Oh,
week.
right on.
We're gonna
Love
be
it.
having Earth Groans on here on
Love it. Love it.
Thursday. So everybody be tuned for that coming out on Friday. That is gonna be such a heck of a time. Anyhow,
Shout
sidetrack
out to
there.
all my Christian friends and family out there.
um, but essentially, that's just a really crazy concept to think about, man. It's just like having to
Yeah.
receive a punishment in the Word of
Oh,
God,
yeah.
and I mean
Oh,
that's
yeah.
wow. So awesome stuff.
So
Definitely
yeah, I
awesome
had to
story,
had to
dude.
steal it and use it for a hardcore band. I was like,
Hell
well,
yeah,
there it is.
dude. That
Yeah.
freaking rocks, man. So do you guys just in the common sense, are you guys like religion affiliated? Like, do you guys all what is that like to you guys? Do you guys have
as
any
as
religion
far as
involved
I
in this?
know, as far as I know, not really. I
Mm,
grew up in the church. Grew up at going to Catholic school and everything. Didn't quit going to Catholic school when I got to high school. So a lot of our songs do kind of are a bit, not critical necessarily of like individual Christians, more so maybe the institutions
yeah.
behind those things that can definitely be, causing harm to people. And as it goes with any big giant institution, like that's kind of what a lot of our songs are about, are like trying to challenge these big oppressive regimes and things that kind of really are dug into our society. And it's, yeah,
Hmm.
so that's kind of what a lot of our songs are about. We're not, again, I'm not really an anti-Christian or anything like that. It's more just
Yeah.
trying to speak from my experience. um,
How it should
Not
be.
speaking for anybody, just speaking for me, for sure. Yeah, so as far as I know, my bandmate, like, we don't have any sort of religious affiliation or
Word.
any kind of anti religion or anything like that. It's just trying to write songs from my own personal experience, really.
Yeah, man. And so when you're writing, I'm guessing that you're past in a Catholic environment or in a Catholic school. Was that a big influence on some of your lyrics?
Certainly, my Catholic school upbringing was pretty mellow, all things considered, but definitely, a lot of the lyrics have to do with, I don't think it's any secret that there's a big chunk of our country that is run under these really oppressive kind of laws that call
Mm-hmm.
on Christianity and call on the Bible.
Yeah.
And certainly, I grew up around a lot of people that live their life that way, and felt that that means that's, if you didn't live according to how they wanted you to live, then you were, wrong and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's because they were being fed these ideas from people of authority in their lives, and it just creates this really bad environment.
Yeah, it's
Well,
just
at least,
cult behavior,
you
you
know
know?
not bad for everybody, but certainly wasn't for me. So,
Yeah.
growing up, looking back on those things, that's kind of trying to be, that's what a lot of our lyrics are about, I guess.
Fair. So when do you guys have like any bands band like influences, I guess, when it comes to your
Um,
music?
we're all into a lot of different stuff, for sure. I'm sure that's a pretty common answer. I know for me personally, I was listening, like when I first kind of joined the band, I was listening to like Cryptic Slaughter as a frame of reference, kind of like, faster, thrashy punk stuff.
Mm,
I know we all like, early Metallica stuff, like Ride the Lightning is sick.
hell yeah.
I don't know if any of that comes across in the music, but Yeah, we kind of have we all bond over a lot of modern bands, which is cool. Like
Yeah, it sounds like
Gel
a
and
great
Scowl are
time.
sick. Yeah, like Drain is cool, and all of
Oh
those kind of
yeah,
Mind Force and I think Gulch was one that kind of
Coach
was
rocks, dude.
kind of yeah, Gulch is sick, and they kind of got that was kind of a nice frame of reference for all of us at first. It's like, oh,
They've
we all like Gulch. We know kind of what we're going with here.
Yeah, they've been a pretty big influence on a lot of some of my favorite
Yeah,
guitarists, so that's really awesome to hear that. Um, I
yeah,
do
just
want to talk about moving quickly into hardcore
sure,
since we're same on the same
absolutely.
topic here. Um, what was the beginning of the band like? How did you guys all get together?
Um, as far as I understand it, Dominic and Eric were in a band called Low Wage, which was pretty short lived. They had some lineup changes. They were kind of like, I think they kind of got Alan in the mix, our guitar player. Didn't have a singer, so they kind of wrote a whole set of new songs. And just were like, well, I guess we don't have a band name, so let's just try to find a vocalist. And as far as I know, they didn't really try out that many people. I kind of just answered their post on Facebook on our local DIY page. Um, so I was like, yeah, I'll give it a try.
Amazing.
And yeah, and I'm in a lot of other bands. So it's kind of like, oh, do I really need to stack on another thing? And I just figured, well, if it doesn't work out, it's no big deal. Let's just go give it a try.
True.
And they seemed pretty keen on it, and the songs were cool. So like, oh, let's try to make this work. And that was probably like October 2021, and then
Nice.
By February we played that first show. Yeah, and then I think that March we recorded the demo. Yeah,
Wow. So not even 6 months after you guys get together, you guys are already working on new music. I mean, granted, they already had stuff, but you basically just came in, just running, just went
yeah,
straight.
and they had a lot of songs ready, and then pretty much I'm trying to think what's all on the demo. I think there's 4 songs on Bandcamp. I think there's a 5 song version out there somewhere. Um, I think at least 3 of the 4 songs were kind of written when I joined. Either were kind of being germinated or were completely from scratch by the time I was in the band, which was cool. Yeah, those
Wow.
those guys were writing a lot, and it's slowed down a little bit lately, just because I kind of asked them to stop writing so much so we could get our feet under us on the material that we had.
Man. So are you guys sitting on
But
any
yeah,
material currently?
we're kind of working on our hopefully like another demo maybe out this summer. Maybe kind of 2 short little EPs, just like maybe 4 songs each or something. Just self-recorded for now. Yeah, kind of the same
Hell
way we
yeah.
did the first demo.
Yeah, so I also did want to talk about while we're on that same topic of DIY, give us some tips, man. Anything for the listeners that maybe are struggling to get any
Right.
equipment up and running, like just general advice?
Um, General advice. Well, I'm lucky to have a bandmate, our guitar player Alan. He's really into that, so he's been willing to spend the money to get nice gear to record with. Um, but I have gear as well. Literally, I just went on Amazon, which I know Amazon's the enemy, but I just went on Amazon.com and bought the cheapest stuff I could buy, like the cheapest drum mics, the cheapest like everything,
Wow.
cheapest like cords and cables and everything, and just was like, well, you know, it's easy. Well, it's not easy. I don't make a lot of money, so it's hard to buy nice equipment. But
Mm-hmm.
I figured, I don't want that to hold me back. I just want some equipment. So even if I'm just making little demos in my room or something, I got something to work with.
Oh yeah.
And then you can practice and get better and save up and afford nicer equipment and just get better and better. So I guess, nowadays the gear is out there, so don't worry about the nicest stuff. Just get you something to get through and get some music out there for sure.
True. So while we're on this topic, really. what is hardcore to all of you guys? You guys are one of our first hardcore
Yeah.
bands, I believe the first hardcore band.
Oh
So
wow.
I want to give you that space to, what is hardcore to y'all?
Wow, that's a great question. It's a lofty question. I'm sure everybody would kind of have a different answer.
For sure.
I'll just say for me, it's been really cool to be in hardcore for so long. Like I'm approaching 30, and I started going to hardcore shows when I was 14. And for a while there, it was like, when you're a kid, just you don't think about where you're going to be 14 years from then. And it's like, oh, I went from being like a young kid at the show to being one of the older dudes kind of throwing shows or
Hmm.
facilitating shows or just trying to go whenever I can. So to me it's cool to see, that hardcore spirit of community and like, just people together trying to make something cool happen
Yep.
is sick, because that's what was going on when I was a kid and I had absolutely no clue how any of it worked. I was just there to like mosh and stage dive and sing along and try to like, get my hands on a 7 inch if they had them, or a download code if they had them, or
Hell
whatever it
yeah.
was, just trying to get my hands on the music. And now kids and everybody can get their hands on the music so easily that it's sick to see that people really are, super down to support. So
Hmm.
this is a really long-winded answer. To me, it's hardcore is about, people doing things for themselves and for their community, and just like, doing cool stuff for their friends and for, for everybody that wants to come and hang out. So everybody's welcome in hardcore, according to Jug, baby.
I love that, man. I love that. That is the most beautiful answer I could have ever wished for. So what is coming up for Jug? Any upcoming releases, upcoming shows? Where can we find you?
Yeah, hopefully, we're gonna have some new music out this summer. I don't know when, maybe like June or July or something. Coming soon, hopefully. We have a couple local shows coming up, some Champagne local shows. We're playing this Saturday, May 13th, at the Space in downtown Champaign, brand new venue.
Ooh,
We're playing with Harp and Dino Bravo, our buddies. Harp, it's their first show,
hell
and
yeah.
Dino Bravo. Ivan is my bandmate in Power of Dusk, and Jake. Well, I guess they're both from the band Nectar, so they're playing too. May 13th, and then again in Urbana, we're back at C4A on June 9th. Community Center for the Arts, which is where I work and teach violin and all that fun stuff.
Hell yeah.
Um, we have all ages hardcore shows there occasionally. We're doing one June 9th with Grandpa Vern from Oklahoma City.
Amazing.
Um, yeah, SMV from, I don't know where they're from,
They're
some
from
some
Middle Illinois
area of
somewhere.
Central Illinois somewhere. Harp is playing too. I think that's it. And
Hell yeah.
then yeah, June 24th in Peoria at the Mill, we're playing a big giant benefit gig for Don Brown, I think, who got hurt in a car accident or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're playing a show for them with a whole bunch of bands. Keep from Springfield, they kind of organized all that. I can't even think of all the bands on the bill, but
Awesome.
yeah.
That sounds like a great time, man. And
Oh
ladies
man,
and
I got one
gentlemen,
more,
oh, go ahead.
plugs. Sorry, one more show to plug. Power of Dusk is putting out our tape July 1st, and Jug will be playing that as well. We're going to be at C4A doing that. So look out for the live, or the lineup announcement rather. Power of
Hell
Dusk's
yeah.
release show July 1st.
Yep. Stay tuned, y'all. Make sure you follow the homies on social media. Check out their demo from 2022 on Bandcamp. It rocks, and this ends our episode 11 here with Jug. We're live in Springfield, Illinois with our friend and I mean, honestly, I don't want to say that these are one of my favorite hardcore bands because I've got a lot of favorite hardcore bands, all right? But Johnny, let me just put it out there. You guys are definitely top three of my favorite
Oh
hardcore
wow,
bands. You guys
you're
rock.
too kind, my
Keep it
friend.
up, man. Keep killing it.
Thank you,
And
brother.
everybody, be safe. Have a great night. Thank you for tuning in to the Chug Life podcast for the end of our episode number 11.